Hey cake sniffers, welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Carmelita, Season 3, Episode 1. It is called Cinderella's Prettier Younger Sister, Carmelita, Part 1. Full spoilers for the episode, as always.
I'm not even going to correct you on this one. That's fine. I'll allow it.
Oh, of course, we are talking about a series of unfortunate events. It is Season 3, it is Episode 1, and it's called The Slippery Slope, Part 1. First of all, I've got a surprise when I looked at the episodes. There's only 7 instead of 8. The final story is only 1 episode, and I thought it might be longer, because I thought maybe they'll just do like a double length one, but that's the same length. This, on par with the rest of them. So I don't know.
You see, you started that with, I've got a surprise, like it was a good thing, and then I'm like, but now I've got one less episode.
I said I got a surprise, I think. I mean, I had a surprise.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
me,
but you sounded really positive about it, like it was a good thing.
Oh, okay.
And this is awful news.
It's not great news. But my only critique of this is that if you were going to just do 1 episode for the final book, then why did Season 2 get the extra one? Because then you could have had 8, 8, 9, as opposed to 8, 10, 7.
Yeah, that would have been much more even.
I mean, it doesn't really matter now. Anyone who watches it now is going to just watch the whole thing, and it's just. I mean, it is a nice round 25 total episodes, which is nice.
Yeah, and also to its credit, last season it had a nice arc as a season.
It did. No, it did.
So
they may have made the right
roundabouts.
choice thematically in what they were doing. So
Yeah,
so we have 7 episodes for the season. This is part 1 of the first story, the slippery slope, which of course we get a definition of. We get the little joke as well. I forgot how much I love these little morbid jokes at the start with the when I first met you, Beatrice. You were pretty and I was lonely, and now I'm pretty lonely.
yeah,
I was like,
it was a good one.
It's like it was the same thing last year when we came back after a year. It was like, oh, I'd forgotten how much I like this. This year I didn't forget as much because it's reiterated. Because obviously after 2 seasons, I'm like, okay, I remember that I really like this now.
I'd forgotten the intro song changes.
Yeah. Because he mentions the final season now.
Yeah,
And at least in this episode he did.
yeah.
So we left on a cliffhanger last time, almost literally, with the cart going down the cliff.
Yep.
Off the road. I'll admit, I don't think the road seemed as long as it did in this episode. A little bit of a cliffhanger creative license here.
Yeah, whatever.
Which is
Okay.
fine. The tone of the show makes this okay. This is not a complaint. I'm just pointing out that
It was exactly as long as it needed to be.
yeah, I felt like the finale last year. I felt like it was they were
We're a
right
lot
at the
closer
edge.
to the edge, yeah.
Whereas this year it's like no, we've got about 10 minutes of runway to build a
Yeah.
parachute.
Yeah.
But now we got building stuff. We got Sonny's kidnapped with Olaf and his crew, Esme, Hookman, and co. And they had the freaks. In fact, one of my favorite little jokes in this was the "not like us" chanting. The opposite, of course, of the freaks chant of "one of us,"
Yeah.
Which is used a couple
It's
of
very
times.
clever.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I like that. Actually, one of my favorite lines early on as well was Olaf. I may be paraphrasing this slightly, but it was along the lines of. I've never felt this so clear and sharp since the first time I smelled kerosene.
That was good. There was lots of things like that, like his, this isn't some melodrama, and then
Yeah.
over the top melodrama, and then it's them all just laughing.
Yeah. Well, it starts with just him though. They all join in after he
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
starts going. But yeah, so the Baudelaires of course save themselves and they have to go chasing after them, and they end up having the fork in the road. They don't quite. When they're going to pick the right one, they're arguing over which one to go down because one leads to the actual headquarters, one leads to where Olaf's went with their little sister.
And they know this, and they're like, okay, well, which one do we want to go to first?
Yeah, but they get attacked by what was it again?
It's like what? Snow wasps?
Snow wasp, something like that. Yeah, and they end up at a cave.
And who should they meet?
And they encounter the Snow Brigade or something like that. They're called
Snow Scouts.
Snow Scouts. There you go. And out of nowhere, like a hope in the light, out walks Carmelita, who I've not seen since I believe the first 2 episodes since last year. It's been too long.
She was the highlight of last season.
Yeah, and the last season was great the whole way through, but nothing ever quite lived up to Carmelita.
No, it didn't.
And immediately she calls them cake sniffers. And also, I love that she doesn't really remember them. Like, it takes like a little bit of time to be like, wait a minute, you're those orphans.
Oh, I had missed this show so much. Thank you, Netflix, for giving me this
Yes.
on New Year's Day. What a way to start the year.
Yeah, what a nice treat to start the year off on. Everything with Carmelita again was great. I mean, she called them cake sniffers about 50 times. It was glorious.
Yeah.
Um, we cut it back into the scene at one point, and they're sitting around the campfire telling stories, or Carmelita's telling stories. And at first it's Cinderella about and her younger sister Carmelita is much prettier, so she married the prince instead, and then she divorced him and took all of his money. The
Yeah.
end. It was like,
And then
and the next one.
she was going to go into Sleeping Beauty's younger sister.
Yes. I'm noticing a trend here with all of her.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll call it caramel exploitation. Um,
I'll allow it.
yeah. And she's bullying the scout leader, the adult who's supposed to
Yeah.
be supervising, but then only us rich people with parents get to be in the.
Yes, she has to carry the luggage.
Yes. And she sounds really depressed as well. She's like, oh, I
Yes.
suppose, Carmelita, don't be like this. We should help the orphans or the mountain
Yeah.
climbers as they claim to be.
Yeah.
And we've got a mysterious masked individual in the room,
They
in the
do.
room in the cave. um, and I was like, who is this? I was thinking, is it one of the the what do we call them? Quagmires. That's it. It's been a year, folks. Right? Give me a second. One of the and it actually does. The twist is a Quagmire, but it's not one of the two that we've met. It's the twist is the triplet, which they neatly reminded us of this because there's a joke.
Yes.
Where the Quagmire they met, so it's the other new characters. We'll get to them in a minute, but they mentioned that they're triplets, and Olaf says,
Olaf calls them twins.
yeah, which was a
Yeah.
joke last season that because one is dead, they're now twins, which is not true.
Yeah. I
But
think it should be true.
there's an argument. I can see the argument for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a fun callback, but it was a neat little reminder
But-
of like there was a third one that was supposedly died.
All I'm saying is, if you've got a pair of socks and you lose one, you don't still call it a pair of socks. You've got a sock, right? If it's triplets and you lose one, you don't have triplets anymore. There's two of them. They're twins.
No, this doesn't track because if you lose a triplet, each of the ones that are remaining are both a triplet. Going by your comparison there, a sock, like you're switching naming conventions.
No, I'm not. Because
Yeah,
it's
you
a
are.
pair of socks. And there are triplets of people. There are triplets.
Yes, but it still came from a pair. Each one is still a triplet.
I don't know about this.
I will argue against collectively calling the two of them triplets, even though technically if they're both a triplet, then they are by definition also triplets.
But they are no longer.
But they are no longer. They are twins formerly known as triplets.
Do you know what? I think this is all moot because what's more important is that they're orphans.
Just one last note on Carmelita. Her dreaming, having weird dreams and fantasizing about various things and
Yeah.
talking constantly about everything.
Yeah, there was one that got me as well. It was before the dreams when they're around the fire and the masked individual is asking about Anna Karenina and they're like, oh yeah, a classic of Russian literature.
That's a word for boring.
Yeah, because that's just boring. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Oh god. Now I'm expecting on the next episode because it's a two-part of the same book. I hope though that Carmelita's not done after this story. I hope this is not the end of
I
Carmelita.
have I have a suspicion this will be the end of Carmelita. But if it is, I'm glad we got this at least.
Yeah. I also like how Olaf remembers her because he mentions the girl at the school at one point, and Esme's like, "Who is this girl? I'll clout her eyes."
And he's just like, it's before your time.
He's like,
And
"No,
she's like, oh, should I be jealous? Like, oh, she's a child.
she's that girl with a brooch, very pretty."
Yeah.
So we have the new character that was teased at the end of last season, the new Snicket, Kit Snicket, who is running. She had the sugar bowl, although she then loses it. There's a neat reveal that she's pregnant, which happens after she's already dived off of a cliff into frozen water. And she's like, "Ah, baby, you're a trooper." I'm like, "Oh, maybe a dead trooper, actually." I mean, maybe I go get them checked. But so we have these two villainous characters. I recognise the actress playing the evil woman because later on Snicket calls them the man with a beard and no hair, and the woman with the hair and no beard.
Which sums up most women.
That's true. That's somewhat was, but they come as a pair. You see.
They do, yes.
So it just fits nicely with his naming convention. And they're kind of Olaf's parents, not necessarily genetically, but
They're the ones who raised him.
yes, they raised him, and they're disappointed he's an actor, but they have this aura. They kill the freaks.
Yeah. It's a shame to see them go because they were pretty amusing.
They were pretty funny, and I'd forgotten about Robbie O'Mall's.
Just his hands are strong.
Yeah, but the fact that he's like, I'm a freak. Everyone thinks I'm a freak, and I'm like, you're the most normal hunky white dude on the planet. You're so generic looking, it's painful.
You're like the best looking person in this cast.
That's the thing, though. He is good looking, but he's not like ridiculously good looking. He's right on that like solid 8 out of 10 good looking.
No, that's it. He's not like stand out like unbelievably good looking. He's like no. I buy that you're a real person, but you're definitely on the upper end of no. Okay, this is how good a real person can look.
Yes, he is the best looking average person.
Yeah, it's when he was on the CW, it was like, I don't know if I buy you next to all these. But on this show.
Yeah, such funny. You know, so you enjoy the troop, you enjoy Esme, all those characters. I'm liking Hookman bonding with Sonny. That's actually really funny. Sonny having like debates with Olaf, and you know, Olaf threatened to throw Sonny off the mountain. He's like, don't be ridiculous. I need you for your fortune.
I am noticing the baby speech is becoming more understandable.
Which makes sense. The baby's a little bit older. They do that joke where the hair gets dried and then all of a sudden it's a completely different haircut.
Yeah.
Probably because they were faking the hair up until that point because it had been a bit of time since they shot.
And they just went, screw it.
That's it. I believe they shot these seasons fairly back to back, I think.
I would have assumed that's
because they renewed them together. Like they made an effort of saying no, we're going to do the whole thing.
And we said at the time we assume that's because
the kids
are going to get old quickly. Yeah, that happens at that age.
It's especially the two older ones. Like they're at an age where they probably look adults now. You know, by the time this is coming out,
they probably do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, or at least on that bordering kind of like 17, 18 kind of range.
Yeah. Where it's like, okay, you're definitely older than you were playing here.
Yeah. Klaus has got a beard now.
Yeah, probably.
He's done hard time.
Yeah. I buy it.
So, so the plot kind of wraps up to this reveal of the masked figure who's helping them. They have a vault they have to get through with the words, one of which is related to the book that we're bringing up, and they get in, and he reveals who he is, that he's the one who survived. It wasn't one of the parents. At least that's the implication I got, that it's not one of the parents that have survived. It's him instead.
Yeah.
But the headquarters already burned down, and this intercuts with hearing from the Olaf parents that they have burned it down. They're actually listing all the rooms, and I'm like, this headquarters had a lot of really fancy facilities that
it did, didn't it?
The headquarters should not have. Is all I'm saying. Because like, the pool room, the hot tub room,
yes, which was hard to burn, but they did it anyway.
I don't think badminton court was one of them, but it might as well have been. It was like a list of like luxurious rooms that a mansion might have.
Yes.
But yeah, that was what it was. But it was a fun return to have the show back. The jokes were flying fairly quick. Cutting to Snicket, and he was in the brownie uniform or the scout uniform. Yeah. When he's like doing that section when they're sort of exploring that. That was good. So no, it's just nice to have the show back. It's kind of more of what we like about it more than anything.
Oh, definitely. It's I find we often will get the bigger discussion in the second part where the wrap up of this story happens and the meat of it. A lot of the first part is all the setup, right?
Yeah. And do you know what I think's interesting about this one? I feel like this is the one that's most just the overall plot. Like I feel like this one has less of a specific setup just for obviously the setup here is that they're on the cold mountain, right? But that's kind of it. All the other ones so far have had very specific, like this is the one in the hospital and they're getting chased around by Olaf and they're impersonating doctors.
That hospital?
Oh yeah, that was great. That was
but like the school, the hospital.
Yeah. And that, it has a location as a setting, but the actual plot for the kids isn't that they're, being like, fostered by some people and Olaf's grabbing them.
We've kind of evolved out of that now.
Yeah, it's much more. No, this is about the main plot and moving forward with that. The sugar bowls went missing. Of course, Kit has dropped it somewhere, probably in the water.
Yep.
In fact, one of the fun scenes we didn't mention with Sunny is that she makes the breakfast. And the line that killed me is Esme saying, "This toast is raw. Is it safe to eat raw toast?" And Olaf goes, "Of course it's not. She's trying to poison us."
Oh, so good. Like, I was watching this and I was contemplating, should I be jotting down jokes? Because I'm not remembering all of these when we get to this session.
I was remembering this as I was watching it last year. I remember skimming through the episode again right before we recorded because I wanted to remind myself of like 4 or 5 jokes that I was like, no, they were too funny. I have to mention these jokes. They're too good.
Yeah. There's so much. This is one of the most consistently funny shows I've ever seen.
Absolutely. And it was because I watched all the recap. I didn't really feel like I needed it, but I watched the recap at the start, which you probably didn't get because you never get recaps.
I didn't, and interestingly, because it had a recap built in,
it did kind of, yeah.
I actually thought Netflix had decided not to do one.
The one that Netflix put on for before that you could skip was much more in depth. Like it was much more, it took you through all the kind of stories of last season, which I liked because it kind of reminded me of all of Olaf's personalities because I got to see a little bit of Scatman Olaf, I got to see a little bit of Dr. Olaf and so on, and it reminded me of all the.
Yeah, I didn't get offered it once again because Netflix really hates me for some reason. When we get to something like Dark, I'm going to have to actively find it.
Oh yeah. I'm going to be honest. When they announced that date for Dark, I'm probably going to try and rewatch it because there's so many characters and the plot is so like
dense
with like overlapping wires that I feel like I can't just jump into that again.
Yeah, same. But whereas this, I didn't feel like I missed anything. Not having the recap, I was like in. I was like, okay, no, I'm confident.
Yeah. I think the show. The show is very witty and it's smart in its writing, but it's not like complicated to follow by any means.
No, not at all.
Speaking though, another little joke I liked is that I'd forgotten that Arthur went away with the bank robber at the end of last season, and we get like a little side story of him like becoming friends as he's being robbed and the SWAT team coming in and all that. And then he decides to go on the run, which is why he's looking for orphans that he's misplaced.
He just shows up in the woods
because he meets up with Kit. So
yeah,
so they're together right now. We'll see how that shapes up. Obviously, we're looking forward to Kit and the kids getting together and teaming up.
Yeah, definitely.
And see what happens there. And Olaf being scared of his parents is fun too. So there's a lot of things going on. It's definitely the most serialized it's ever felt. Not that it's ever not been serialized, but it's definitely the least standalone. Like, here's the premise for just these two.
Yeah.
And I think that was something we said a lot last season, that it was gradually becoming less and less of that.
Yeah, especially by the end with the quote unquote circus.
Mm-hmm.
Because that felt like, technically there's a circus, but it was significantly less the plot than any of the previous ones.
Yeah, it was the setting rather than the actual focus. Whereas, and it's the same here. And this one doesn't even try to pretend, though. I feel like this has just naturally evolved on from what the last.
Yeah, it's just where we are now.
Yeah. So we'll see.
It says a lot about the quality of the show that we do these Netflix shows one at a time, one episode, and we go away and we don't watch the next one until maybe the next day or 2 days later, whenever it takes us to watch the next one based on the schedule. This is the first one in a long time where I've gone, I just want to watch the next one right now. I could, we spoke before about how our viewing habits have kind of changed so that I rarely feel the need to binge a TV show at all anymore. I'm quite content watching it spread out over a week or 2 weeks. Whereas this is one of those few shows where I'm like, no, I could have watched all of this today.
Yeah, but you gotta wait.
I do have to wait.
Because this is what we do. So we will be back with episode 2 day after tomorrow. That'll be the going schedule going forward. So we'll be done in about 12-13 days overall, so just under 2 weeks. So look forward to more episodes, and I'm looking forward to seeing where else we go, because I'm assuming we're not spending the rest of the season on a mountain. I'm assuming that we'll have a new location to go to after this story, and then we'll see where we end up. So obviously no spoilers from the books for the rest of the season, or the rest of the season itself, of course, and just keep it to the current episode and far back in the comments, but that is us. So thank you very much for watching or listening. We're excited for the rest of the season. You can get us on Twitter's at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. You can support the channel and the show and everything we do here at patreon.com/mailfuzztv. So head over there and have a look. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you very much once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla cake? because I need to sniff it.